Hello, 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 y'all. It is Elsid932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me on Sunday. Thank you for spending some time with me on your Sunday. I appreciate it. We are here for unsolicited advice, okay? What is unsolicited advice? It is where I gather, folks, segments from the internet. They're asking the general internet, mostly Reddit, Instagram, wherever, they're asking for advice. So I bring it to the table. I bring it here to the group, to the L citizens, and we give our unsolicited advice. And it goes from mild to spicy, okay? And in the membership, it is all spicy. Member lives are 8 o'clock on Monday nights, EST, and it is all spicy. Now, the members may say, I'm the one that's spicy, but true, I am. But the members ain't slacking, okay? The L citizens and delegates are not, they are not slacking. So let's say hello, Cheryl Davis. Glad to have you here, okay? Ari says she needs a break a little bit. That's Love is Blind Brazil. Okay. She said somebody is ticking her off on Love is Blind Brazil. That is the seniors. They are the over 50. And if you are sleeping on them, you are slouching. Because Love is Blind Brazil, the live is at 5 o'clock today, Sunday, EST. That's what I'll be doing every week until the show is over, until after the reunion. But definitely, it is jam-packed full of fun. France is wild, yes. And Brazil is just as wild and wicked. And I apologize if you hear any sounds behind me. I think a neighbor is cutting down a tree. If you hear it, please forgive me. But we are here for unsolicited advice. We're here to give you all the advice that the folks are asking for. So please make sure you do like the live, okay? Hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the membership if you want to be in the all spicy unsolicited advice. So let's get to the first one. Hey, Nesto, Shackle Shuffle, Walk of Shame. Love the name. Oh, love the avatar. Looking cutesy. Cutesy. So let's get to the first one. Okay. Hey, to go to Africa. Glad to see you. Glad to have you here. Let's get to the first one. Okay. It's real mild. It says, I, a 29-year-old female, work remotely and I want to travel, but my 29-year-old boyfriend cannot. I've been dating a wonderful guy for 2 years. I'm surrounded by people getting engaged, married, having kids. I have no desire to do that right now, but I am getting increasingly aware of my age because of it. I work remotely and feel so incredibly lucky to do so. But frequently, I feel like because I work remotely and I'm young, I should be taking full advantage of traveling and doing long-term rentals, etc. My boyfriend does not work remotely and is pretty much stuck working where he is. I am so afraid I'm going to regret not taking advantage of this situation when I'm older, no longer remote, and settled down. I also just convinced my boyfriend to stay in the current state with me, which is adding to my troubles. I just got back from a vacation to a place where I've been to before, and I truly feel like my heart is there. I feel like I need to go back, even if it's just a few weeks. I've never felt so sure of anything, but I feel so increasingly selfish in this situation because he's done nothing wrong. Has anyone else ever been in this situation? I feel so flustered and conflicted. Thanks for saying hello to everybody on the way in. So y'all, she could work remotely. They're both 29. She could work remotely. She convinced him to live where she is. And she want to travel while she's working remotely. But he can't. She don't want no kids yet, but she want to do this whole travel thing before she has kids. But she went to this place that is oh so great and wonderful. Missy, this is the point where you have to make some sacrifices. Is it the man or the mission? Is it a man or the mission? And the mission is to be able to travel because you have the option to work remotely. Now, okay, I hate to say it this way, but I gotta say it. That man, it may not be in your life, forever. Forever. He may not be in your life forever. That job working remotely may not be in your life forever. I would go traveling. I'm sorry. Miss Elsa gonna hear this, and I'm gonna go traveling. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Ari says, girl, go on that vacation. Please. Please. Please don't have any regrets, whether you regret your kids for restricting you on travel or what have you. Don't have regrets. Go do you, child. Go. Thank you, Nestos. Tanya C says, live your life. That man can't wait. He can. He can't wait. But how long is a long-term rental? And once we leave and go, once we leave and go, what's the status of him going to be? I agree with you, Tanya C. I agree with you, Nestos and Ari. Go. Live there long term. Maybe you live there long term. You figure it out. He can come visit when he get his vacation time. Okay. And is he the kind of man that will take his vacation time? Do you see yourself settling abroad, or is this just for travel? You have to decide, ma'am. You have to decide. And you are 29. At 29, I done had my 2 kids. At 29, I done had my 2 kids. Okay? Go. Travel. Do what you want to do. I'm sorry. He is a good man, Savannah, I understand, but that is a good job that allows you to be remote. Ari says, I'm 33. For most of the time at my job, while it was remote, I was taking vacations once a year. Before I returned to hybrid earlier this year, I even went on vacation. Yes. Yes, that man can wait. That man can wait. They always say, we ladies, we waiting on the man. That man can wait. Okay? So she is working remotely. Welcome on in for those who are now coming in. She's able to work remotely. She wants to go on vacation. She wants to do long-term rental. She wants to travel while she has the remote occupation, but her man doesn't have a remote job. Maybe he could go on a leave of absence. And maybe he can find a remote job, but maybe he can go on a leave of absence from his job to be able to at least go travel with you maybe 3 months. That's an option. Okay. If he's willing to compromise and look at it, it's an option. Okay. Send that man back home with his mother. I'd be willing to say he moved from his mother's house to her house. Oh, Nestos is like, if he is residing at your place, let's send him back to his mama. If he moved from his mama's to yours, send him back. Return to sender. That's what Nestos said. Okay. Send him back to his mama. Yes, return to sender. That's a tough one, but you're not married, no kids. Talk to him about a long distance relationship, but be prepared that he might not wait. He might not wait. He might not wait. Thank you, Cheryl Davis. He might not want to wait. But hey, I'm giving you another option. Maybe because he's been at his job a long time, maybe there's a sabbatical, a leave of absence he can take. He's a wonderful guy for 2 years, y'all. Wonderful guy for 2 years. Okay. So let's give him, the opportunity to see even if he's willing to discuss, long-term sabbatical, maybe, 6-month sabbatical from his job. Maybe he can, in the meantime, find a remote job or find employment in whatever country you're looking at, because there are options. Okay. There are options because, young lady, if it's Australia, okay, if it's Australia, the Australian government is looking for, certain skilled workers, certain skilled people, and they have a laundry list of fields they're looking for. And when I tell you laundry list, it's a laundry list of fields of people to work. And they're willing to expedite residency because of that. If you go to the Australian government's website. So if it's something like that, maybe he can find and get, one of those residency with the government subsidy, all that kind of stuff. You could look into that and see if that's an option for him, or you can leave him behind. Cheryl Davis says you're only young once. She's 29. But young lady, you have to also decide, what are you going to do with your life? What if you do end up, as you said, when it's time for you to settle down, it's time for you to have kids, you're 29. Ladies, we're talking about the ding, ding, ding of the biological clock. She is 29. She is 29. Hey, AK's POV, glad to have you here. Happy Sunday. What are we doing? Okay, she should feel the same way about settling into a relationship with a man as she feels about having children if she wants to travel, further her education, etc. Right, she don't want kids now. She don't want kids now. Now you've had 2 years with this wonderful man. You said he's wonderful. Ladies, we know the ding ding dong of the alarm clock of our biological alarm clock at 35. Right now, she's 6 years away from 35. She's 6 years away from 35. She doesn't want kids right now. When is her timeline for kids? Because then she'll have to have a relationship, at least for a few years. Realize if that man does want kids, if he is the type you want to have kids with. She ain't got no ring. Tanya C said, girl, you ain't got no ring. It don't mean a thing without that ring. Okay? It ain't mean a thing without that ring. Thank you, Tanya C. There's no commitment. There's no realistic expectation. Okay? Freeze the eggs, ladies. The insurance may cover it. Now, we learned that from Love is Blind France season 1. That is a good drama filled, okay, on Netflix. It is good and drama filled. One of the ladies there, she's already prepared. She said she froze her eggs years ago in case she did not have someone in her life right away. Hey, Nola, darling, glad to see you. If he's that good, try to work it out. He can take a vacation, right? Can he visit abroad instead of living? Maybe. And as I said, the leave of absence, maybe he needs to. And I will say this, and I'm going to generalize, okay? I'm going to generalize. Many a man that I know, friend or otherwise, don't know all the benefits of their job. He may not know he can take a leave of absence. He may not know he can take a sabbatical. He may not know all the options available for him to be able to travel with her. And still guarantee that when he comes back, maybe it's 2 months, when he comes back, that he's able to still have his job. He may not know. Okay? Like he ain't got no vacation time. Right. That's not the issue. Is that the issue, or does she want to move? She says that place is calling to her. She says that place is calling to her. It's just calling to her. She's like, I truly feel like my heart is there. Not with him. Okay? Her heart is in the place, but not with him. Okay? So he can visit. He can use his vacation time. He can find out if there's a sabbatical, if there's a leave of absence, something that protects his job. We don't know what it is. If she's truly looking to move there, I would say, hey, go there for a couple weeks with him. See if his heart is being called by that place too. Because if his heart is not being called by that place, and your heart is, young lady, you may have to leave that good man behind and follow your heart to where it is. Okay? But she's visited before, Nola, darling. She has visited before. And she says her heart is being called to that place. Hey, it ain't being called by that man, but you acknowledge he's a good man. You need to follow that heart, young lady. I'm glad you ain't say butterflies and all that. Where's my moon dust angel? She knows how I feel about butterflies around here. So, young lady, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to ask you, okay? Hey, cross-country cruise her. I'm going to ask you about that, okay? Yes, leave that man alone. If that place is calling to your heart, he ain't. He ain't. And I'd rather you go and follow that, and maybe y'all circle back to each other in the years. I don't spin the block. I don't believe. I go back for seconds only for food on a plate. I'm sorry. Once I'm departed, you departed, we're done. Done. Ain't no spin the blocks. But maybe you believe in spinning the block. Maybe y'all can come around to each other again next lifetime, in a few years. Maybe that's exactly what will happen, okay? Maybe that, certainly you can follow your dreams and he can, be stagnant in his. But whatever the case, young lady, it could be that if you stay, you may become resentful of him. You may become really snippy at him because he's the reason you're staying. I don't want you to delve into that, okay? I don't want to delve into that in you thinking that, you're going to be stuck there with him. And then you're going to be stuck and you're going to have kids, you're going to get married, and you feel stuck and you feel like you've had regrets. Don't do it. Don't have regrets. We are simpatico about spinning the block. We don't spin the block. I'm sorry. She wasted both their time. Take the Band-Aid off. Rip it off. Thank you, Nola, darling. Yeah, I don't believe in spin the block. Give me seconds in food, not in relationships. There's a reason why we ended. We're done. We're done. Maybe it's the next lifetime. I don't know. But if it's next lifetime, I wouldn't remember what the previous lifetime was. or the foolishness you did. But no spinning the block. Mm-mm, mm-mm. You get one chance only. What the song was, one night only, one chance only, one chance only. But y'all, please put your unsolicited advice for her in the comments. We're all simply telling her, follow your dreams, follow where your heart is being called to, okay? Your heart is being called to that place. Take the time to go. Maybe you stay there a month and you realize that ain't it. You hop to another place or you come back. But at least you would have found what you're looking for, which is answers. Okay. So let's go to the next one while y'all are hitting that like. Okay. While y'all are hitting that like. Nothing worse than looking back and ask what if. Cheryl Davis, you better believe. You better believe. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Okay. This one is for a few of the folks in the chat because I've heard it before in weeks before. Okay, I, a 33-year-old, okay, and my female, and my spouse is a 31-year-old male. Is it normal to feel unmotivated, drained from having your spouse around 24/7? I love my spouse, but I'm really struggling with a lack of energy and motivation. When they leave the house for errands, workout, or appointments, I get a rush of energy. I miss the days where I had the house to myself for 8 hours at least. We wake up in the morning and no one is here. I start the day off relaxed, soft, and amazing. I get started on work or learning and just have a nice, relaxing day. When my spouse is home, we're in working in their office, but the dishes pile up. I end up making them food along with my meal. I do the dishes. I just feel drained after that. I literally just shut down, it seems. Has anyone else ever struggled with something like this? If so, what has helped? Is there a name for it? Mm-mm-mm. That's how they describe themselves, Nola. She a pit bull. That's how she describes herself. That's how they say it in Reddit. You know, like the name, the age, and the F. Don't see anybody 24/7, but I shouldn't be excited for you to leave every day either, girl. It's it comes in context with the young lady with the work from home. She's happy when her person is not working from home. It seems she's in survival mode for whatever reason from her past. Maybe speak to a therapist. Yeah, yeah. Or maybe also speak to your spouse. Could you not pile up the dishes? Could you not? If someone's draining you that bad, it's not working. Right. Or a trusted friend. Hey, we are trusted friends right here giving our unsolicited advice. Young lady, if you got to talk to him. If it's the chores and cleaning up after him and making him a meal and all of that stuff, it also requires planning. He's got a schedule, okay? He has got a schedule that he's home on those days. Maybe on the days that you do cook, you cook and have enough, okay? Meal prep. Meal prep. So that when he's hungry, he could go in there, get some food out, heat it up, go about his business, and have the dishwasher open so that he could put his dirty dishes in there, and then you could just turn on the dishwasher. Okay? How about that? Are dishes that draining? There are other issues afoot. Well, Nola, darling, depending on how you do the dishes and how many dishes you use, it could be that draining for her. But I don't understand either, Nola, darling, how it could be that draining because she's making the meal for him. I'm thinking it's a sandwich or something, but then she doing the dishes. It sounded to me. It's sounding to me because she hasn't said anything about her having a job. It sounds to me like a housewife that don't want her husband in the house. I'm sorry. Sound like a housewife that don't want him in the house. Talk to him. If you don't say anything, he might think everything is great. Yes, talk to him. But it sounds like she don't want him in the house. She ain't said nothing about no kids. It's just her and him, and he works from home a few days a week. So there's something wrong. But the point where he's draining the life out of you, everything, every time he's there, right? I'm just gonna say too, There's no satisfaction in the boudoir. I don't hear any satisfaction in the boudoir. Because if we were satisfied in the boudoir, we would not be having this kind of you're draining my energy when you're around. I want you around. It sounds to me like there ain't nothing happening in the boudoir. It sounds like you don't like him. She don't like him. She don't want to be around him. Sounds like the love is gone. What? Cue Mary J. Blige, I'm going down. But she's going down when he is around. The song is like, when you ain't around, she's going down when he is around. Okay? It's only a few days a week. Right. Only a few days a week, and she cannot stand him. He is draining her energy. I like to understand exactly, as y'all said, there's something else going on here. We don't understand it. I wonder if she understands it, because it really sounds like she don't want him around. But for whatever reason, everything he's doing is annoying her. And I go back to, is it that she's not happy with her life? Is she a housewife and not working? Maybe she needs something else to fulfill her life. I'm not saying she can't be just a housewife, and it's not just a housewife, but I'm thinking she's feeling drained with the responsibility of it because she don't want to do it anymore. So she needs to find something else to give her the zest back for life and, for everything else. I don't know, but definitely a therapist will help. Definitely talking to him, but also figuring out, why does he drain you on the days that he is home and he's working in his home office? Okay. Nola said, nah, it's him. It's him. Tanya said she needs to look within. But Tanya said, it's him. It's him. She need a man that she actually likes. I know. We're missing context, because yes, there might be something he did that gave her the massive ick. Or maybe that he's not doing stuff with his ick. Okay? I'm just saying that. Because if he's truly putting it down, well, we will be well satisfied and have very little to complain about. And I did use very little to complain about as a pun that is intended. Okay? Y'all put your unsolicited advice for her in the comments below. Let her know your thoughts. Have you been in this situation? I know, as a person who, married, raising kids, I am working from home, having to commute and all of that stuff. It can be draining. And the days that you have quiet when the house isn't everybody in it, yes, that can be satisfying. But that's just her and him. I'm not saying everybody home is draining. You manage your time wisely. You manage the household, best for your energy. It's about managing your time, managing your energy. But it's just them. What happens when kids come around? No, she can like his segs and still not want him around. She don't actually like him. She don't like him as a person. He is draining her. So of course she don't like him at all. Please put your unsolicited advice below and let her know what you think about him draining her energy. Is it her? Is it him? We have a little bit of difference of opinion in the chat, but we all saying, girl, you need to figure it out. Have a conversation either with him, with a therapist, okay? And, truly make a decision. Hey, Lady Tiba, glad to have you here. Glad to see you. Y'all, if you are on the whole true crime stuff, please visit Lady T-Bug's channel, okay? We have a good time over there, okay? Clutch your pearls. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is going to be number 3. I have one more after this. So this one, y'all pay attention to this one, okay? Girlfriend, 29-year-old female, has been hiding details about her solo trip from me, her boyfriend, a 29-year-old male. Hey guys, I met this girl about 2 months ago and things have been going absolutely amazing. We both voiced our intentions and I told her I thought communication and honesty go the furthest in a relationship, and she agreed. She did mention she had a solo trip to Europe in September when I met her. No big deal. That's awesome. I thought it was cool. She liked to travel. Fast forward last week, we've continued to be amazing. She expressed excitement about her trip and tells me, what she's going to do. On Tuesday, I went upstate to her brother's and the three of us had a blast. I was sitting in the back on the way home for a second and caught a glimpse of a text conversation. Now, I never check someone's phone intentionally or go prying in any way like that. But she was texting with this guy and she was talking about details of her trip, her Airbnb, the laundry situation, and other things. The next day, I asked, "Hey, are you sure you're going alone?" And she says, "Yes, of course." Then she asked, "Why do I ask?" And I brought up the message. She says it's a good friend. I pry a little. She says he's actually was supposed to go on the trip and couldn't go, but he was asking about the laundry. Apparently, he couldn't make it because of the financial reasons. Then I continued to ask her about their relationship, and of course, it comes up. It turns out to be an ex-boyfriend of hers. This ex-boyfriend lives in New Jersey, and we live on the West Coast. I mentioned I'm not a fan of keeping in contact with exes, but it's not a deal breaker. Today, she could tell I was upset. I asked more about the trip because each of the rooms only have one bed. I asked if they had planned on sleeping together in the same room. She said yes. I mentioned that this bothered me. It bothered me a little more, and I finally asked, "Is he going on the trip?" And you could tell she was upset. And she finally said yes. I told her I was upset that she lied this entire time and thought it would be best that we don't see each other anymore because, of course, I'm thinking she's planning on sleeping with this ex-boyfriend behind my back this entire time. And she was going to do it the entire time in Europe. The thing that upsets me most is how many times she mentioned she was going alone. She, of course, is very upset and wants to cancel the trip, which I said, only because now I know about it. She is begging to speak in person, which I'm not opposed to, but for me, it's kind of a deal breaker. I feel like I will find it hard to trust her in the future. What is anyone's thoughts? And sorry about the long post. She just unfulfilled. She spent the block for a test drive before she got married. I can't stand my husband, but I love him. I'm sure I don't like my husband. Nestos. Leave her. If she's hiding things about simple thing as a trip, she's going to lie about anything. Right, Tanya? See, he's asking about laundry and he's not going on the trip anymore? Liar. Sir, run. Run, sir, run. She's a liar. I'm saying that like, Anu from Love is Blind UK season 2. If you know it, you know it. He found out early she's a liar. He's lucky. He is. And he stepped away. He said, I ain't about this. And now she's scrambling to say she ain't going on a trip. She ain't doing this. She ain't doing that. Again, here's my question. Thank you, Cheryl, using your emoji. Run, run. Yeah, the math ain't mathin'. It certainly ain't. She probably thinks cheating overseas don't count. Tanya, see. Thank you. That's certainly enlightening. She thinks traveling overseas is not, it doesn't count. Okay, maybe she thinks like that. Run, Forrest, run. All right, Jenny. Here's the thing. Why can't this boyfriend go on this trip? I know it may be last minute, but why can't he join the trip? Is it that he also is financially not secure enough to go on the trip? Y'all been together for a couple months. That's a great way to learn somebody. I mean, within 2 months, Mr. Elson and I were on a trip together because I need to know how you travel, whether you like to travel, how you pack, how you don't pack, how you, how we cohabitate. I mean, come on. I have no problem. With taking that trip. We took several road trips because I need to know how you act on road trips. What happens in Europe stays in Europe. I don't know about that. If the shoe was on the other foot, I bet she wouldn't like it. She won't. If his ex-girlfriend was the one going on a trip. Yeah, people think like that, what happens in Europe stays in Europe. Europe may not be on his list. Okay, he may not want to go. I went on a cruise with my man 6 weeks in. Tanya C. Girl, we went around the world and I. Truly, we were 6 months in. Yeah, well, you were 6 weeks. I was 6 months in when we went on a cruise, but we went traveling, we went on road trips, we went. I need to see how you behave in different genres and different settings. I need to see how you dress. Because I may be seeing the representative, but I don't see you every day. I need to see how you behave. Do you, how do you use the bathroom? Are you considerate of the other person? I need to know all them stuff, and travel can help you. And would she be with the guy if her boyfriend tagged along? Right. Or did she tell him there's no room at the inn? There's no room in the Airbnb. Maybe his job is too short of a notice. Exactly. This is why I clumped this together. Maybe he is, in a sense, the boyfriend that doesn't have a job that can allow him to go travel like that. Maybe he ain't got the vacation time either. I did a solo cruise, booked and met my man and told him he should come. Came back in love. Lovely, Tanya C. Glad you booked a solo cruise and then you met him and he decided to come along. That also tells you he could, he had the finances to just come along. Hit K Sharp. What else was she hiding? Why is she canceling the trip after he learned the truth? She got caught doing the shuffle. And now she backpedaling and popping. Thank you, K Sharp, for that one. She trying to drop it low in Europe and come back because you know what? And I think that's why he told us. The ex-boyfriend is in New Jersey. He's from New Jersey. And she in the West Coast. There ain't no way they're going to meet each other or even see each other on social media, I guess. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. They're going to see each other at the Trader Joe's, see each other at the local grocery store because the ex is on New Jersey. Here's my question. What was her flight pattern? Because we have direct flights from Jersey to many places in Europe. So was she going to go to Jersey and spend a few days with him before she caught that plane to go all the way to Europe? I'm just asking. Do you know her itinerary? This is how people wind up pregnant because they're trying to do the nasty on the low. Maybe it wouldn't count either because it's in Europe. I don't know. Maybe she's going to say it don't count because it's Europe. But again, he's not telling us all of it either because apparently this is a friend visit because he said all the rooms have double beds. All the rooms have double beds. That's what he was saying. All the rooms have like one bed. So it must have been a friend trip. Are we not talking to our friends about the trip? What is in the laundry? I don't know. When they go out and they have an Airbnb, maybe they're having other services within the Airbnb. What is the laundry service cost and all of that stuff? Hey, Premier Coop Outdoors. Glad to see you. Glad to see you on a live. Thank you for being here. Yeah, she had the trip planned. It sounded like a friend group trip. It sounded like this boyfriend wasn't told much about it. I think he just didn't know. He was not told. He was not given the option of coming along on this trip. And I think, but I don't know because he doesn't sound like, hey, why wasn't I invited? He more sounds of why you going with the ex and more prodding. Now, if he didn't glance over, see, this is how we create this man going into people's phones in his next relationship because, hey, if he didn't glance on the trip to see her brother upstate, if he didn't glance at it, he wouldn't have noticed that she's talking to, all about the laundry with someone who isn't going on the trip. Apparently a magical unicorn only they could talk about. I don't know. I will say I loved the laundry stuff when I went to Portugal. I absolutely love the laundry. Okay, y'all, here's the thing. Here's a divergent. She going to Europe. Here's what I had liked that people do. The laundromat is attached to the grocery store. So people would get their laundry going and then go do their groceries because it's at the front of the grocery store. So picture when people go into Walmart. I haven't been in a while, but where your store has your the carts, it's all the laundry stuff. Okay, all the laundry bays. And you put your clothes in there and you go and you do your laundry. You go and you do your grocery shopping, you come back, you put it in a dryer, you load your stuff up in the cart. And I was like, this is a great use of your time. This is a great use of your time. Using your time wisely, really. I was like, I really understand time management here. Really understand it. Because I was like, I could actually start my laundry. Actually, I started it. I did a quick wash. And then I was like, let me go do the groceries while it's drying. And by the time I'm done, because I'm in a foreign country, I'm looking at everything. Takes me a while. I came back. And when I came back, my clothes were dry, put my groceries and put my clean laundry in the car. I loved it. I'm sorry. I was tickled. We need that over here. We need that over here. So y'all put your unsolicited advice certainly for him. I don't think he needs much advice. He already told her he's done. He can't trust her. He ended things and she wants to spin the block. Sir, keep away. Keep out. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You said you already broke up with her. There ain't nothing much for you to do. I think you made the right choice. Let her go on her trip with her friends and with this ex. C'est la vie. Au revoir. What more can you say? So y'all, if you have a different sort of advice for him, please place it in the comments below and let him know what your advice is. Does he hear her out? Does he, decide to get back with her? I think you should stay away. I think that's the best option right now, is to stay away and stay away from her and the whole situation. Let her move back to Jersey with her ex. Okay? So we move on to the last one. Okay? We move on to the last one. This is the spicy one. Okay? So make sure your earbuds are in. And members, I already have y'all spicy ones for tomorrow, and I have a very cool sign for us to talk about. And I have the Bachelor and Bachelorette that we are going to analyze to see if you go and dump or date. That's for members tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Now, this one is from a lady. She says, my boyfriend, 32-year-old male, thinks that I have fallen. She's 31. I have fallen out of love because we haven't had intimacy in a week and a half. I thought we were fine when my boyfriend wakes me up in the middle of the night last night asking, why haven't we been intimate? And if he's done anything wrong. It was jarring. It was jarring to wake up to this. He then told me that over the last 4 nights or so, he's gotten out of bed and spent hours on the couch downstairs because he feels so sad and rejected, just to come back to bed before I wake up. I didn't notice, of course, because I was asleep. He said he's been laying on the moves, which I would agree with, okay? Then he said, I have not been receptive. I don't see this. I was able to name some things that have been bothering me and might partially explain a lower libido. But then he went off on, oh, so it's all my fault. He said that I've been cold and his love is going unrequited. A lot more was said, and it's hard to capture all of it, and I lost at least 4 hours of sleep over this, and I'm still feeling numb and not good enough. I don't know. We were clearly disconnected right now, and I don't know what to do about it. We've been dating for 2 years. Okay? 2 years. He's 32, she's 31. 2 years. He said we ain't been having it real good. We ain't been having it frequently enough. T-Buck say, cut him off. Cut it off. After only a week, yes. Well, I wish you would have talked to her. I wish you would have talked to her and taken it like a job. I'm sorry to say it's like a job, but it's kind of like HR. If you have this, treat it like, hey, this is the moment to have a conversation, real calm, cool, collected. This is what the oral warning. Okay. Then you could say, hey, let us put together a corrective action plan. Let us try to figure out how we can move forward, and let's give a timeline for this corrective action plan to be put into work and put into effect. I know people dislike to think of the relationship as a job, but there are steps involved that could certainly help us progress. Okay? Okay? Stress does happen, and to completely go off on the deep end after 1 week of no smecks is astounding. Thank you, Ari. I see you using astounding because she used unrequited. I was reading that. I was like, oh, she probably gets pissed like I do, and your vocabulary starts coming out. Your vocabulary and the other vocabulary words you don't normally use come out. And when I saw that unrequited, I said, daggone it, you real mad, ain't you? You keeping it together and being real classy the way you wrote this, but you mad based on you your using your good vocabulary. But when he went off, she said, hey, she was able to name some things that were bothering her that may partially explain why she had a low libido. So she's trying to speak to him. And then he went off and, oh, this is all my fault. He has some internalized issues that we ain't gonna get to. Why, he's also being very deceptive because he's going away and coming back and acting like everything's off. So 4 nights, after only 4 nights he's gotten out and nothing has happened. Is this person Sonia Durham we're referring to? We don't know because all these things are anonymously placed on the internet, okay? So if you would like to nominate her as possibly being her and her story, possibly, okay? But it's definitely not with the incarcerated inmate that she's talking about. And if you do not know what we're talking about, you need to go to Lady T-Bug's channel. You're going to learn all about Sonia Durham, and you're going to learn all about that case and the incarcerated husband of another woman that she is conversing to, okay? Okay, if you don't know, I think this is a red flag on his part because I could understand if it was months or years in, but less than a week. Hey, Ari, he got stressed too. He stressed that he ain't getting none. Okay, he stressed that he ain't getting none. Oh, this is my fault. So he ain't listening. And I'm wondering, what did she say? And I would ask her exactly what did she say to him. That's what I would ask. What did you say that you were stressed about? Were you stressed about him? Were you stressed about work? Were you stressed about doing the dishes like the other lady? Are you that lady that's stressed? Are you the lady that wrote the other one too about you don't want him at home because he's draining you? I mean, all these could be interconnected today, okay? There's a little bit of weaving that could happen with these, okay? But it sounds to me like she's trying to share, and there may be issues and he ain't trying to hear, okay? There's a complete disconnect. And even if it is your fault, maybe she has concerns with you, sir. That's okay. At least she's vocalizing it and she's not sitting there stewing and acting like, dag, you drain me. So I'm just saying, maybe you need to listen, sir. She is speaking. Now, how she's speaking, I don't know how she's talking to him. He's a drama queen, and yes, I meant queen. Dag on it, Ari. Yes, I meant queen. If it is Sonia, then just buy that silicone. Oh, you mean replace the silicone? Replace the silicone that's already there? Okay. I hear you, Nestos. But sir, your lady's trying to talk to you, and it doesn't help if you have an outburst and say, oh, it's all my fault. Then she could start clamming up and just, it could be desert sands, okay? It can be desert sands because she is no longer feel like she could trust you, be around you, or even share her feelings. She probably thought you wanted to hear what her concerns were. And when she said it, now you go off on her. Now, how is she going to bring concerns in the future? Should she bring concerns in the future? It is wrong of him to base the lack of smeg on 4 nights out of 2 years. Dude, don't wake up that lady from her sleep with that issue. I think he has other core issues going on. I think so too, K-Sharp. Definitely. Bob, if you will. That's one type of silicone, okay? But Miss Durham has other silicone, okay? Siliconic flotation devices as well. Okay, but yes, you could definitely get a dilly and a dough. A Bob, if you will, a battery operated boyfriend for those who don't know why we say Bob. Just so you understand, we translate around here. Don't be afraid to ask questions. in the chat. I will say it, within the boundaries of the YouTube rules. In membership, we can speak more freely as grown folk over 18. You have grown conversations that we could speak more freely. But yes, definitely a battery operated boyfriend certainly can help. But this dude it would not help in this instance. Because he's like, he will ask why you having fun with Bob and not with me. But he wakes up in the middle of the night. And I'm like, how did you wake me up? Because I'm gonna take a defensive posture if you try to wake me up in the middle of the night. Don't wake me up for that. Don't wake me up for that. And she does acknowledge, though, okay, ladies, she does acknowledge that he been trying to put on the moves on her. He been making moves. He been putting in a little bit of work. He been making moves, and she's not receptive. That's where I'm like, he been putting out the moves, which she agrees. Okay. But she said, I haven't been receptive. But she says, I don't see how I haven't been receptive. Girl, if y'all ain't hitting the skins, you ain't receptive. You ain't bought what he trying to sell. But she acknowledges he been putting on the moves. Now, why isn't it working? It's 2 years in. It's 2 years in. We're 32 and she's 31. 2 years in. Oh my word. Why 2 years in we're having this kind of issue? Does he have an expectation? Because every time you put on the moves, sir, it's not gonna work. Sometimes the moves is like roll over and we're done. Ain't happening. But sometimes you gotta ask in the moment. Say, hey, honey, what's going on? Is something going on? I'm trying to, do you see the candles burning? You see these flower petals and ain't nothing working? What's going on? And you can have a conversation then. But you can't jump off and say, oh, so it's my fault. Can't do that. Yes, it's stressing you. Yes, whatever. But are you leading physically, sir? Are you leading that all you want is physicality? She's now sharing her concerns and you're throwing it back at her and you are going off the deep end. That does not bode well for a relationship. So, sir, you need to calm down and you need to listen to her if she's willing to speak. And sometimes if you can't listen, this is another healthy strategy that therapists will tell you. I am definitely not one. Write it down. Write it down to your person and read it to each other. Say, hey, this is what I like to tell you. Write it down so the person can read it, can absorb it, and give them some time to understand what you're trying to say. And sometimes when you write it down, you realize how you say it and how you conceptualize it isn't really how it's received by your partner. So write it down, write it a letter, write out your points, and see calmly if you could get it across. Yes, he does. That's a deal breaker. He needs to make a tough decision. He needs to make a tough decision. He needs to decide if he's going to stay here. It's been 2 years, only for the past week he putting on moves and it ain't working. It ain't working. And what do you do when the moves ain't working? You move on. Maybe, but it's only been a week. It's only been a week out of a 2-year relationship. But I just don't like his outburst. So now it's my fault. Wait a minute. It could be things you're doing that's generating that type of response, but it's not your fault. It is more of this is how it's translated to her. This is how it's coming across to her. When you're trying to make moves, she is stressed about this. She acknowledges you're making moves, but she's like, I'm not in the mood. She has a lower libido. And granted, y'all may not want to talk about this, but she's 31, he's 32. Hey, my biological pausing happened at 33. Young lady, you may need to go to the doctor and do blood work and see if the lowering, if it is not stress related, it could be your body going into pausing early. I'm only saying that due to my own experience. We don't know her, but it certainly can generate conversation with him to see the body is going through a lot of changes. She is not comfortable or aware what to do with it. That takes a lot. But it may have been, you saying it's just a week. I don't think it's only been a week. I think it's been a week that he realized it has diminished completely to 4 times, but I think it's been happening slowly going down, slowly reducing. And this week has been four times he putting it on the moves. Only 3 out of 7 days. He's like, wait a minute, stop the presses. Make sure you use the correct punctuations when writing. Right. If you're writing something, the right punctuations will give such a different meaning. Yep, got it. Yeah, I think it's been going downhill, and he now, because it ain't just been a week, he been going to the couch. It ain't only been 4 days. It's been going down, down, down. Maybe it's been, okay, went from 7 days a week to 6 to 5. And then we stayed at 5 for a bit, and he's happy. Okay, we only at 5, three less days is okay. And then we go down to 4. But then it may be, wait a minute, but we at 4, and we staying at 4. We ain't going back to 5. It could be that. But she has to understand where it's coming from. And he has to understand and be open to understanding, because he ain't open to understanding. And that's my biggest pet peeve, and why I would say send him up river. I'm sorry, send him up river without a paddle. Because if he's like, oh, so it's my fault, he's not listening, he's not willing to learn, to understand, to be with you through this. Because all I'm thinking is, if your body's going through different functions, he's not going to be one to sit there and understand and go through it with you. He's thinking, I'm not satisfied. It's sounding very selfish that I'm not getting what I want, and I'm putting myself out on the couch, and I'm trying to, he's thinking that he's doing so much for her because he's going on the couch and da 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 da. Sir, you have to have the conversation and be open to the conversation. You can't be like, so it's my fault. You may be doing things to trigger, but it's not your fault. I don't like that whole, so it's my fault. No, it is something that may be triggering to her, but it's not a fault. It's something that could need to be adjusted. So please put your unsolicited advice here for this couple. I think they can totally get it together if he is open to the conversation. And if he ain't keeping score all the time, because 4 out of 7 still ain't bad, sir. 4 out of 7 ain't bad. as some of us out here, 4 out of 7 ain't bad. If you were here before for other unsolicited advice, grandma ain't had an O in 2 years. If you've been here with other unsolicited advice, some people ain't had an intimate touch from their partner for months. You talking 4 days, sir? You still up there. You still got a high score. I'm just saying. I want the girlfriend to make herself open a door and walk through it. Leave him and close that door. Hey, thank you, shApp, for that advice. Because I'm telling you, this 4 out of 7, and it's only been a week, and y'all in 2-year relationship, it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. Y'all ain't talking about kids and other responsibilities in the mix. Trust me. If you are up at night doing changes, bottle feedings, all that stuff, you gonna forget when the last time you done had any. Right now, you just like, oh my gosh, we should be like rabbits. No, sir. Have a conversation. Consider this. But young lady, consider it, as shApp says. Walk through that door, because he don't want to listen. He doesn't want to fix this. And if it comes down to having children and other responsibilities, is he going to be the partner you need? We don't know. Only you can answer that. But you're 2 years invested in, you got to decide what is best for you. But I'm like, I'll have a conversation, a corrective action plan, and da-da-da-da. But if you keep giving that attitude of, so it's my fault, this going to be your fault, me walking out that door. But y'all, thank you so much for joining me for Unsolicited Advice. Later on today at 5 o'clock, we will be covering Love is Blind Brazil. The seniors are senioring. There are big issues. 2 couples then walked out. 2 couples then walked out. And we're going to talk about it later on today at 5:05 EST. We have been having great success with Love is Blind France, which the weddings are this Wednesday. This is all on Netflix, y'all. Tomorrow is going to be the Members Live, where we talk about the scandalous unsolicited advice. And we do other, items like Date or Dump. Tuesday, I'll be covering Match Me Abroad. Y'all know Wednesdays was King's Court. That is over, but all of the recaps are still there. And then Friday, we will be going, we'll be doing our unscripted, okay? shApp said, y'all come back. These seniors got me smoking. Seniors got you smoking hot, smoking cigarette, all that stuff. The seniors are just as messy as the young people in France. And y'all, of course, October 1st is Married at First Sight. And y'all, please vote. It's 50-50 right now on whether we watch a Married at First Sight UK. I may watch it and only do a weekly live, no recap. But how they do it is Sunday to Wednesday or an episode each week. If I do a live, it'll be Thursdays. So I do have a post for you to vote. Are you watching it? US folks, we got to watch it via VPN. Okay? They're not going to let us watch it until later on. But if you are going to use a VPN, and VPNs are pretty cheap, like $50 for 2 years. This is not an ad for them, but you could certainly look around. You can see, shows from all over the world. And when I tell you, the international shows are there, definitely. But yes, I will see you later, and have a wonderful Sunday, everyone. I'll see you on the next